Yeah, I mean, basically everything in the Northern Hemisphere, this harvest season of August, September, October, those are really the months. The Central Coast is a relatively cool appellation, and so this is, it's generally September, October. Depending on variety, because they do ripen at different times, there is a spread or a span of a couple of months there. But this really is this is the crunch time. This is what we all, work for. And as winemakers, this is what we're really most thrilled with. I mean, each year we look forward to this time. It's incredibly busy. We work, 14, 16-hour days for a couple of months. But it really is what, it's the culmination of everything we really try to do in the year. And it's, it's exciting because, I think winemakers are kind of optimists in general, and we really look forward to, making what can be, the best vintage that we've ever done. So it's just it's a terrific time of year.
Hi, my name's Frank DeJohn. I'm the tasting room manager for Sanford Winery, and we're here at our first open house for our new tasting room and wine production facility. Behind me is the wine production facility, and if you look at it there, we're very excited that this is going to be open to the public as soon as harvest is complete this year for public tours 3 times a day, free public tours. Our goal when we built this, and it was completed in 2001, was to have it made of all reclaimed, as much as possible, reclaimed materials. There's over 120,000 handmade adobe bricks that comprise the double-sided insulation on these barrel rooms behind me here. On the facade is all of Riverstone from our local riverbed here. One of the features that's unique about this winery is we've tried to use as much reclaimed material as we can. If you look at the wood that makes the support system for the roof here, it's all first growth fir that was originally used for a sawmill in 1910. And this is part of the 80-foot sections that we brought down in truck after truck, 500,000 square board feet. You see some more of the Riverstone supporting it here. One of the most unique aspects of this is how we move wine from tank to tank. Rather than use pumps, we use an elevator system, a gravity system. It's very unique. There's only, as far as I know, none of these in the United States except for this one. I think there's one other in France. It's 3 stories. So when we want to move the wine from, let's say, our fermentation tanks, we hook a hose up to it, and then we bring the hose over here and we drop this into its lowest subfloor so that the top there is down at my foot, and then we just hook the hose into the top and let gravity fill up the tank. Then we want to transfer it into a barrel. We'll raise this up a little higher than the nozzle that you see right here, and then just fill it into the barrels that are on a forklift and then take them into the barrel room. Now if you look up at the ceiling, you'll see a good example of some of that reclaimed wood. That's one solid beam that runs the whole length of this, and it's really pretty amazing. The temperature in these barrel rooms is constant, right at 55 to 58 degrees. And it's a function of the adobe. We have the double-sided adobe that keeps it perfectly insulated. Today it's a little warmer because the doors are open, but when we have wine in here and the doors are shut, you'll come in and it's perfect cellar temperature. These barrel rooms hold around 3,000 barrels, and you come here to do a tour different times of the year. You'll walk in here, and this will be, when they're all full, it's just a marvelous smell. It's really something to, a bouquet. One of the fun aspects is this little faucet arrangement. There's actually a trough that runs the full length of the barrel room, and when we want to have the humidity to be raised a little bit, we'll turn this on. It'll go into this little bucket here and then goes over the side and goes right down into the shade, even if the doors are shut.
Today we actually are pressing 4 tons of 2006 Chardonnay that comes from the valley, east side from here, about 12 miles from here. And right now it's about 1/4 of the way of the press cycle. As you can see, as soon as this press cylinder stops, it'll start pressing, and we got about 1,200 psi pressures per square inch. So we should be starting to press off as any minute we'll show you. And as you can see, I have a hose running through the yard. That's the wine is being, the juice is being pumped into a tank that I have chilled, set up at 35 degrees Fahrenheit. So we keep it cool overnight, let it settle, and hopefully within the next 28, 30 hours, we'll be able to rack it off the lees and hopefully do some barrel fermentation.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of those two things exactly, and especially with we had an extreme cold spell in January, and that had an enormous effect on the vines, and it really has limited the crop. There wasn't very good set in the spring after that, and so we're really looking at quite low yields, especially on Chardonnay. But the flavors are fantastic, so I think it's one of those, it's definitely the silver lining. There's a little bit less fruit out there than we'd ideally want, but it really is, it's going to make for a fantastic year.